So we've come to part 3. Now part 3 is going to be very, very simple. This one here is going to pertain about a few things in PvP. Now, everybody knows that there's a good healer build, and not only that, but in legendaries and things of that nature, you do need a good healer build. But the problem is, I've seen a lot of people doing the 2-piece Murakami, the 3-piece Richter and Kaiser, and the 1-piece Alps. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a strong heal. It's probably close to the strongest heals in the game. But it's not good because you're not giving your teammates the extra damage. So there's potential damage missed by not using the future. So everybody who's making those types of builds, they're not going with this type. So we're going to go over the 3 versions you can have and why certain ones are stronger and certain ones are not. As well as with healers, because you're going to be trying to avoid status in the DZ, we're also going to go over a status build and show why certain versions are better than other versions. Now, first of all, the outgoing healing is very important to note because it's on the crossbow. Now, the outgoing healing, if you also happen to heal yourself, you give outgoing healing on top of that. So 1 piece of Richter and Kaiser is vital. Now, a lot of people don't know that little trick. Most people think it's just outgoing healing is going to be the only way by using the Alps, which is repair skills. No, if you do incoming healing, you also heal yourself, and you're going to give other players that outgoing healing as well, 15% of that on top of it. So it's good to have 1 piece of Richter and Kaiser. Now, if we look over this right here, the future piece, you're going to give your allies within 5 meters that required of, was it 60%? So using the backpack would give you 120 rather than the safeguard of the 100. But if I do 100 right here at full armor plus 60, that's 160% versus just using the backpack of 120%. So the backpack is better to have safeguard. Now again, the Alps chest piece right here with empathetic, so if we take some of that damage, which we only have 15, we can also heal our teammates and give them an extra 15, so that's 30%, which makes this even stronger than this chest piece right here, which only gives 25. So you can have it set up like this if you wanted to. You're going to lose a little bit of extra damage, but you're going to have the same survivability, and you'll have the BTSU proc, which would give your teammates the overcharge or overclock piece to help them out. Just right here with 1 exotic. So that making it even stronger. Now you could even do this right here, but this is if you're just doing PvP and you're within close range, you want 120, you're going to keep that extra damage, you're going to give them that extra damage, but you're not going to have the strongest heals. The strongest heals and the strongest damage is going to be this setup right here. And that's it. Literally, ladies and gentlemen. Now also, you can have a damage healer. Now I love damage healers, especially for legendary. The only problem with the damage healer that we have right now is, though we can give them the extra 20% when we stack like Chongas and stuff like that for legendary or players as well, you have the extra 25 here on your chest piece. That's a great bonus. There is a downside to this, and I'll get to it here later on. We got the overcharge, we've got the extra damage to 15%, so we're technically going to give our teammates roughly 25 plus 15, so that's 40 plus the 20 on the piece on the weapon. That's an extra bit. But if we were able to put this, which hopefully the devs are going to fix later on, we could give our teammates not 50% weapon damage but 60, because we got 10% bonus damage to targets that are status affected. So using this setup right here and getting this extra outgoing healing on this type of build is going to be awesome. But the downside that I'm trying to talk about is the Artificer Hive. We cannot throw the Artificer Hive on here. Now even if we were in cover, we would be able to get the skills, the skill haste out. So when the devs supposedly released TU16, which they said, and we know the devs aren't good to their word, we'd be able to move the Artificer Hive over to there off of the Technician, and that would make this build even stronger, giving our teammates 10% even more damage on top of that. Well, that's great news, right?
Who's ready? I'm ready! Who's ready?
So again, when you're trying to use healers in the dark zone, most people are going to be doing status. So we need to talk about status builds. Now, a lot of people love to do this, 2-piece Seska. You can see we got Seska and Seska right here, these two. Now, is this a bad setup? In a way, yes. It is not completely bad, because we could sit here and throw in some extra hazard protection, and we'd be at 90% right now. We could throw in, say, some bleed or status or riot foam avoidance or whatever, but we lose a lot of damage. Now, as you can see right here, we are at all hazard protection 90%. Again, this is not a bad spot to be, but I'm going to show you why this is a bad setup. Because the Grenadier, as you can see right here, we go to the Grenadier. This, I believe it's right up here. Yep. It gives us 20%. So if I'm at 90, that gives me 110, right? I don't need 110. I just need 100. Because you can see, it caps at 100. So pulse resistance doesn't do that, but statuses do. So I'm literally wasting 10% burn resistance. Well, let's see what the damage is on this by doing this 10%. Alright. I have nothing in my mod right here because I believe the other one has crit chance or something else in there, so I'm just going to leave this mod out. And let's see what the damage is. I have companion on 442, 495 on health, 442 on headshots, and that's with companion, nothing else special. So let's go to the Grupo version that I have. Now this Grupo, I am now sitting at 80% hazard protection, which would allow me to throw in, say, another piece of hazard protection right here, and I still have the companion, but I'm going to get this extra bit of damage out, but I'm not wasting that burn. So as you can see, I'm going to go over here to it. I'll show you again. I'm now sitting at 80% on everything, but I'm at 100% burn resistance still. Since burn is the strongest thing in the game, we just want to avoid that. So now I'm hitting for 463. Oh, we just jumped up 40k per bullet. 40k per bullet. And that's a lot, especially in the dark zone. So, again, is it a bad setup? No. Is it a good setup? A little bit. It's really player's choice. But if you want the more damage, go with the Grupo, not a second piece of Seska or something else, you know, like Fenris or whatever your weapon's going to be.
No. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. 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 Hell no. 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 I refuse. No. No.
Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, as I state right here, all builds are templates, but some are put together a certain way which will give you more damage, more survivability, more group team play type stuff in those specific manners. Now, just like the future initiative, there's multiple ways you can run it. There is only one way to get the best heals from it. Now, I can also put it together a different way and get the best damage from it for my team. There's multiple ways to run certain builds, but to put them together and mesh them together a specific way will give you the most benefit from it. Just the exact same way with the hazard protection. We could gain extra hazard protection, but we lose out on damage. So again, take some of these builds that you see on here, work them the way you want it, because you may want vigilance on your backpack. I prefer companion because I'm usually by the healer or by other players, so I always have my damage, versus when I take damage I don't lose it from vigilance. So again, use these types of ideas to your advantage. Don't just copy and paste, okay? Please stop your copy and pasting.